Good morning, everybody. My name is Tiff Rodriguez, and I am a student here at Portland State University. I am also one-fifth of the group that is going to present to you today, and we greatly appreciate you guys coming out here to listen to us. So, what I would like to do is start out with our purpose and intent and why we brought you guys here today. We want to talk about something that's very near and dear to our hearts, maybe not near and dear, but it directly impacts every student here at Portland State University, along with all the universities in the world, and that is student life balance. So the way we're going to raise awareness is to talk to you guys about the demographic information. We're going to define the terms student and life, and we're going to kind of discuss some of the factors that goes into each term, and then we're going to discuss the positive and negative effects of the student life balance, and then we're going to kind of roll into something I'm pretty excited about for this section, is how the lack of balance can impact mental health. And without stealing anybody's thunder, it's going to talk a little bit about how soon or how early those discussions should be happening with students. And then we're going to wrap up with a call to action, another section I'm super excited about because it's very detailed. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the demographic information. So here at Portland State University, there are 27,000 students. And when I saw that number, my mind was blown because it just kind of put things into perspective for me, which is I'm one of 27,000. We are 5 of 27,000. But then that number also kind of made me realize that we are all battling to kind of strike a balance for student and for life, right? No, not for life, but student life balance. So that's a lot of balancing going on, though. Of those 27,000 students, there are 60% of them are full-time students, and 40% of us are part-time students. Another thing I think is very important to note is, regardless of your full-time, part-time status, student life balance has to be created, it has to be maintained, and it's super important for all of us that are trying to, meet our objectives and our goals. So let's start defining the terms. Let's start with student life, or student role. As a student, we know certain things, right? We know that we have to apply for the university. We have to register for class each term. We prepare to study, and we know we need to study a lot. We do group projects such as this one, and that means there's going to be some forcing of socialization that only adds to the stress of being a student, right? And then final exams, yippee, super fun. And then we're paying for school supplies and additional fees. So we know these things, right? We know we're coming here to learn, and most importantly, we're coming here to graduate, which is always the end goal, right? I think one of the fun facts that I kind of read over when I was doing some research on this, in 2018, NPR, they reported that 40% of university students are 25 years or older, and they potentially come with full-time jobs and, maybe some family members as well too, though. So important to note that the student is no longer an 18 to 19-year-old high school graduate or somebody that has just finished experiencing their gap year. Student means so much now. Now let's go ahead and turn over to defining the term of life. So life is anything outside of being a student, right? So that could be being an employee, being a parent, transitioning into adulthood, which we all have to do, right? Getting a job, paying for your first car, buying a house for the first time, paying bills, whatever the case may be, and what kind of falls in, whatever factors fall into that term of life, these are the things that we are balancing, okay? Just in this particular role by itself. And what happens when we kind of combine those two terms, it could be chaotic, right? And I don't know if you can see this, but it's there. It can be kind of chaotic and overwhelming at times, right? But if we kind of strive to strike a balance, that's when we kind of set ourselves up for a success, right? We want to be able to do all things and look like we're, organized doing it. And then most importantly, we want to achieve those goals, whether it's to, get a higher paying job with our newly earned degree or whatever the case may be. We want to make sure we strike that balance. And then most importantly, we want to challenge ourselves in both terms, right? Whether it's as a student or as, my role in life or whatever the case may be, we want to challenge ourselves. There's some positive stress and negative stress that comes with striking that balance. Like I said, I'm not here to steal anybody's thunder, but Nabil will kind of talk to us about the positive stuff. Madison will talk to us about the negative stuff or negative stress factors. Before I stop babbling about, I do want to say that student life balance is definitely a real thing. On Columbia University's School of Professional Services, they have it as part of their student guide for all potential students coming in, all new students coming in. And it was 5 tips for mindful productivity or something like that. And then here at Portland State, our very own university, just yesterday sent out their campus magazine, which kind of informed the reader that, hey, relaxing can kind of boost your productivity, though. So it's a very real thing, something that we all should strive to kind of learn how to balance, learn how to maintain. And without further ado, Nabil is going to tell us about some of the positive stress factors of balancing student and life.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Well, since stress is usually seen as a negative thing, however, nowadays studies are now starting to show that some stress can be more of a help than a hurt. This brings me to the point of time management. College students usually show major signs of procrastination, and stress will do a great job of removing these completely. When we are stressed, there is no room for any procrastination, so you're going to probably do your work as soon as possible. And also, another positive of being able to balance student life is building a solid work foundation. Although not everybody works, but among those 27,000 she just mentioned, students, there are many employees. Some more positives of effects of balancing student life is you're able to earn income, which teaches you the value of a dollar. You're also able to reduce the debt that you have after college, have money for school supplies. According to a 2019 article by Forbes, $1.5 trillion of student debt was reported in 2019. This number would be cut by a large percentage if the students were employed. Also, it helps you challenge yourself to do more. The easiest route would be just to attend school, but if you are able to challenge yourself, can really help you become a better time manager, employee, and a debt-free money manager. Now, Madison will talk about the negative effects of not being able to balance student life.
Thank you. As Bill said, that there are many positive effects to having stress in school. However, there are many negative effects of having no student life balance, and a lot of student stress comes from a lack of time or lack of control. And this can impact a student's sleep schedule, their moods, their concentration, and it can even impact their temper. Stress can even lead to stomach and headaches, heightened muscles, and when you're stressed, you also experience quick impulses and breathing. Stress can create poor habits. When a student is stressed with lack of time, they can skip meals or grab junk food that's sugary and fatty. When students also feel that they need to work on their classwork, then they'll even miss sleep. I just had to pull an all-nighter the other night to turn in an assignment for one of my classes. I got the assignment in, but in class the next day I was falling asleep. Also, long-term stress can impact a student's mental and physical health. For mental health, it can lead to depression and anxiety. A good way to maintain mental health in school is to maintain quality relationships with friends and family. For physical health, it can lead to neck and back pain, eating disorders. It can also double someone's risk of having a heart attack, and it can even lead to a weakened immune system. Stress can also lead to creating bad habits like drinking or smoking. Stress can also impact your academic performance. If a student has a lot of classes and a heavy workload, then they can be stressed about their assignments, which can lead to poor quality of work. So their grades will suffer, and a limited class availability can also affect a student's mental and physical health. And Tiffany can speak more about that?
Yeah, so Madison and I had a chance last week to sit down and kind of do a very quick interview, and she asked some thought-provoking questions. And one of her questions are, how have you been impacted by the class schedule, the available class schedule? And it seems like a very, easy question to answer, but I think it's really important to note at this moment, I rely on online classes. So when the class that I need, according to my DARS report, right, is not available online, I have to make a shift in my already kind of busy schedule. And so while the shift might not seem like it's a big deal, though, but, I have to take time off of work to be here, or I have to, hurry up and find another option to drop off kids or pick up children after school. And so it does lead to the frustration and the stress that's already, pretty heavy as a full-time student here at Portland State, though. So, that was my experience with limited class availability.
Thank you.
You're very
And
welcome.
now on to Jaidyn to talk about how to start conversations on physical and mental health.
So, like Madison was saying, all ages of students experience physical and mental health. It can be caused by outside or inside school factors. Inside school factors can be bullying or just the pressure to fit in, because a lot of people experience that as you're growing up. And an overwhelming statistic is that 40% of students with mental health disorders go untreated. Mental health should be definitely something you tackle, because it can hit you in the long run and it's not worth it. So it's best to treat it as soon as possible. And this pressure that students face is so huge, and a lot of people don't realize how early it can affect kids. The pressure to be in gifted programs like TAG, AP classes, sign up for those, but sometimes it doesn't even transfer to college credits, which is super disappointing. And then when you want to apply for the best college, that's what everyone says, get into the best college you can. And sometimes college just isn't what's in your life path, and that's okay. And you have to test well. Testing is what's going to take you to the next level in your education career. And there's so much pressure behind that. And it should have so much pressure on these students. How we can do this is starting the conversation early. It is important that kids know how to combat these feelings and know how to control their mental health and be aware of it. And a lot of people don't realize how much pressure is put on once you go higher in your educational career, because people can tell you how much more workload you have, but you won't know until you actually experience it. And so one step towards introducing mental health in primary school is relaxation workshops ran by teachers. This can consist of breathing techniques, stretching exercises, or counselors there for the students to talk to. If these are implemented, it'll prepare students for their upcoming academic careers and provide essential tools for them to implement in their life so they can do it by themselves rather than also reaching out to others. And so now, Sarah is going to talk about a couple of resources we have at PSU that our students can go to.
At Portland State, we're very lucky to have a strong support system when it comes to balancing life and school. One of the largest entities we have here is the Center for Student Health and Counseling, also known as SHAC. They're located in downtown Portland, so they're easily accessible to any student on the PSU campus. SHAC is an organization that focuses on bettering the mental and physical health of PSU by offering quality professional services, accessibility, diversity and inclusion, responsible use of resources, while prioritizing human relationships, learning, and innovation. So one of the, I think, most important services that SHAC offers is no-cost counseling. Anyone who's ever tried to get counseling outside of an academic setting, it can be cost prohibitive at times. So the fact that they offer individual counseling, this can include like walk-in crisis counseling when needed, or group counseling that talks about like stress or relationships or school, or psychiatric assessments and treatments. To get an appointment with SHAC, all you have to do is stop by or contact them during their consultation hours. You'll set up an appointment to meet with someone and kind of establish what the best course of action would be counseling-wise, whether that would be group or individual counseling. Another great resource that SHAC offers is the Mind Spa. Mind Spa is a space on campus for students to relax and rejuvenate at no charge. What Mind Spa does is they offer 45-minute appointments where you can do any combination of the services they offer. Those include light therapy, meditation, yoga, biofeedback, or massage. To make an appointment with Mind Spa, all you have to do is go online to www.pdx.edu/shac/mindspa. There you'll click Make an Appointment Online on the right-hand side. This brings up a calendar that will allow you to select an appointment that works best for your schedule. Once you click Book, your appointment will be made. I would implore every student at PSU to take advantage of these no-cost services, even if in a preventative measure instead of when you need it in a crisis. And then Tiffany is going to wrap up our presentation.
All right, everybody. First of all, we'd like to thank you guys for joining us at this presentation today. Second, we definitely want to implore not just students here at PSU, but all types of students, university, high school level, middle school level, to seek out resources to help build your own student life balance, right? And to maintain a healthy student life balance, though, whether that's talking to your counselors or just knowing the effects so that way you can identify them and learn how to cope with them later on, or, talking to your parents, whatever the case may be, use the resources, seek them out. This is something that is very active, and it's student initiative, it's initiated by the student, though. So definitely do that. And that's it. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.